Christmas and happy holidays to all.
Watch your mouth.
This is the Bottom Line Podcast. I'm Jimmy Finizzi alongside Neil Villapiano. We hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling very festive today. As always, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to take a listen. We really do appreciate it. Before we get started, as always, questions, opinions, Twitter and Instagram at BottomLineWMCX, and on Twitter at The MVP Show, hashtag Bottom Line. Leave a voice message on the Anchor app or at Anchor.fm. And if you like what you see on YouTube, leave a like and a comment down below. Helps out tremendously. And please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss a single episode. And please subscribe on all audio listening platforms. Just include Jimmy when searching for the Bottom Line Podcast. Neil, first and foremost, Merry Christmas to you and your family. How's everything?
Merry Christmas, Jimmy. Everything's doing well. We're enjoying ourselves. It's a great day. 2020 has been the most interesting year, I think, of all of our lives, honestly. And it's just great that we, get to kind of end it with a great holiday like Christmas. Obviously, we got New Year's, but that's, we're not talking about that yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Next week.
Right, next week. But today's a great holiday. The weather is about what I expect, snow and everything like that. It's wonderful. It's great. Obviously, a little bit different than what I'm used to, with people not being over and everything like that. But nonetheless, I'm still in a very jolly Christmas mood. How about yourself?
As am I, my man. I am doing great. I can't believe it's already here, but you know what? I am probably in the greatest mood I have been all year, to be honest, because this year, let's face it, it sucked. There's absolutely no question about it. This was one of the worst years ever, period. There's no denying that, but you know what? Christmas is finally here, and we're all reminded about what the season is really about, and that is, to me, it's the fact that Jesus was born on this day. I could go on and on and on about that, but Christmas is about family. It's about getting together with your loved ones. It's about Jesus. It's pretty much anything happy you can think of. This is the time of the year to be happy, to really appreciate all that you have around you. So if you're out there and you celebrate Christmas like Neil and I do, we hope it's awesome. If you don't, we hope your holiday season is awesome. I know Kwanzaa comes up right after Christmas as well. Yes. So a joyous Kwanzaa to anybody who celebrates out there. And we hope that whoever celebrates Hanukkah, we hope your Hanukkah was awesome as well. So happy holidays to all. We hope it was awesome. So Christmas is here. Last episode, we did a top 5 list of the best Christmas Day games/moments in sports. This list, however, oh boy, I can look.
Don't be fun.
None of these top 5 lists that Neil and I come up with are easy. None of them are easy. But this one was definitely a beast. This was not easy to come up with. We could do a top 10 on this, but we like a bit of a challenge.
We're not doing top 10.
Yeah, no. We like a bit of a challenge. We're sticking with top 5. And for this episode, this Christmas episode of the Bottom Line Podcast, we are going to reveal our top 5 favorite Christmas movies of all time. Again, these are strictly our own opinions, as with every top 5 list. If you agree or disagree with our list, or if you have your own, let us know on Twitter and Instagram. You know the deal by now. But a little bit of a twist here. Since I'm in the Christmas spirit, I'm actually going to have Neil give his list first. So, Neil, the floor is yours, my man. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's because I nagged him. I nagged him that for once I should start, just so that, just to change it up a little bit. But still, I appreciate it, Jimmy.
No, of course.
Full disclaimer, Die Hard is not on my list. Don't even try
Thank you!
Don't try that crap with me.
Thank you.
I'm not ready for that argument. I don't want to have that argument. It's not on this list. I'm sorry to disappoint.
Thank God somebody else agrees with me on
this.
And
if you're already disagreeing, then do me a favor and just click out of this video and just go watch Die Hard 100 times if you really
or click out of whatever audio program you're using.
Or whatever, right.
We are not having this debate today. I'm sorry. We're not here for it. We're not listening to it. Take a hike. No.
Right. So here we go.
Seriously though, we're not here for that debate.
No, we're not. We're not at all. But in all seriousness, this is going to be my top 5 list. I do also have 3 honorable mentions. I believe Jimmy said he had 4.
Yes.
So again, I said I wanted to make it 5 because I wanted it to be a challenge. I wanted to really get down to the, and really have people think about what they like about that movie so much, and to really have that whole like feeling toward it. So let's start with number 5 with a classic, 1990, the original Home Alone.
Yes.
Starring Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Catherine O'Hara, and a bunch of others. It was directed by Chris Columbus. No, not Christopher Columbus. Chris Columbus. And, one of the things, people say, well, oh, how come, Home Alone isn't technically a Christmas movie? And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it is based at Christmas time, and it's about the family going away for Christmas and everything like that. But, it's still a great movie. It's a comedy. I think with every single holiday, there should be movies that like touch your heart, make you emotional, but also make you laugh as well. And this was one that was great. And I don't think anybody could have predicted how, popular that movie would get. It got so popular that they made a sequel, which it was okay.
Yeah, well, just don't watch 3 and 4 because those ones are abysmal.
Right, they're really
I don't even
bad.
know why they were made to begin with.
Right. Usually it's best to just have one because then that will, you'll
Now,
get the most.
Me personally, I enjoy Home Alone 2. It's not the greatest by any stretch, but it's a what's it called? Guilty pleasure movie of mine that I like to watch every now and then. But
It's one of the
it is okay though. It is okay.
It's one of the few movies that you get to see a future president in. So
yes, that's true. It's true.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Home Alone 2, and you'll find out really quick.
That's true. Yeah.
Nonetheless, it was a tremendous movie. I've watched it many times. I love it. Everybody knows the classic, screaming of Kevin, the Catherine O'Hara does all the damn time. And it's just great. It's a great movie, and I enjoy it, and I have it at number 5 on my list.
And by the way, it has one of the most heartwarming endings in movie history. The fact that it caps it off with that type of ending just shows you what a classic it is.
Yeah, because again, you're so focused on the comedy and everything like that, it kind of brings it all together at the end. That's
right.
That was what Chris Columbus was known to do really well at. So
absolutely,
he did that. So now we'll go to number 4, and we'll go back to 1969.
Oh boy,
the original Frosty the Snowman.
Okay.
Starring Jimmy Durant. I believe Jimmy Durant was the voice of Frosty. You had Jackie Vernon, Billy DeWolf, and June Foray, just to name a few of the main characters. It was directed by Arthur Rankin Jr. and Jules Bass. And, look, when you think Christmas, you got to think Frosty the Snowman. They made a damn song after him. They've made so many renditions of Frosty the Snowman. They made the second one where Frosty comes back, I think like the next year or something like that.
Frosty Returns, right?
Yeah, Frosty Returns like what, the next year?
I think so, yeah.
It wasn't as good as the original one. The original one is always going to be the best one. And it's just a great one, especially if you're a little kid, because it's just a great way to have you really believe in magic and believe in the magic of Christmas and the wonderful, the most wonderful time of the year, so to speak. It's just a great movie. And even being made back in 1969, to this day, it is still considered in many people's minds one of the top 5 greatest movies in Christmas of all time. I don't think there is really any debate of that. It's just a tremendous movie.
Still resonates 51 years later, and it will incredible. Forever be timeless.
Abso-freaking-lutely. So I have Frosty the Snowman, 1969, and I put the dates or the years because some of the movies that I have on here, there were different renditions of it that were made in different years. So I want everybody to understand which one I'm talking about. So again, the original Frosty the Snowman, 1969, is number 4 on my list. Number 3 is one of the most emotional movies. It has just great, it has tremendous music in it. It's been well known because this person has made these movies for different holidays and different historical events. And this whole, series is still one of the greatest series of all time. And I'm talking about A Charlie Brown Christmas, 1965.
Yes.
Starring Peter Robbins, Christopher Shea, Tracy Stratford, Sally Dreyer, and it was directed by, obviously, Bill Melendez and Phil Roman. And again, by this time, you already had The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, which is considered to be the best of the bunch. Then you had, It's a Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown, and they've had many others. But Christmas, what makes it so great is simply this. Charlie Brown, and I mean, I don't know if I consider this a spoil because I would feel like most people have seen it.
Just gonna say,
what
is there to spoil?
Charlie Brown, he thinks that getting a tree and things like that is really understanding, Christmas, and he was mocked for it, and that was really a difficult thing. But once Linus really explained to not only, the other kids, but to the people who are watching what Christmas really is all about, it just changed everybody's mind and just brought everybody together, and everybody understood the true meaning of Christmas. And I think that's what makes that whole movie great. The whole Peanuts series is phenomenal, and the Christmas special is, like all the others, just a great one, a memorable one. I know me personally, definitely gonna watch that. Gonna find a way to watch it. It's just absolutely phenomenal, and I don't know what the world would be like if we didn't have the Peanuts series. I don't know, but I'm so glad that we have it. And again, over a century later, it is still one of the greatest Christmas movies and one of the most watchable Christmas movies you will see every single year.
Absolutely. I have very fond memories of watching that all the time as a young kid with my family. It really is not only, like you said, not only one of the most emotional ones, but probably, you could argue that's probably one of the best ones in the entire series, given the fact that it explains what everything is all about. It's about coming together and realizing what you have around you, and like I said earlier. But it really is one of those that resonates with you forever. Not to say that all the rest of them don't, because the rest of them do, but that one in particular, it just tugs you right in your heartstrings, man. If you haven't seen it, or if you want to revisit it, please do. We really encourage it.
One of the things that Bill Melendez and Phil Roman have always did a good job of is that they always wanted to leave you with a message, a lesson to learn in that, with each one. In The Great Pumpkin, I would say the lesson to learn is to never stop believing in, what you want to believe, and never give up. If you remember Linus having that big rant at the end to Charlie Brown about the Great Pumpkin still exists. Then you look at the Thanksgiving one, and everybody starts to realize what Thanksgiving is really all about, with Peppermint Patty and Charlie Brown's situation and everything. And then the Christmas one, it's the same thing. And, what was great is that they continued with, doing historical things like the Wright brothers or the Transcontinental Railroad. I mean, those are great, but the original Peanuts, movies that they made, or episodes that they made, they always left you with a learning lesson. And I think that was the most important thing. And, in the Christmas one, they really help you learn and truly understand the meaning of Christmas. And I think that's the most important thing to remember. So that
absolutely
is why it is number 3 on my list. So a quick recap for everybody. This is my top 5 list of the best Christmas movies. The first one I have was Home Alone, 1990. Number 4 was Frosty the Snowman, 1969. And number 3, like we just talked about, A Charlie Brown Christmas, 1965. Now we'll go to number 2. This is a tradition in my household. On Christmas Eve, we watch this damn movie while we're making dinner. And I don't think you have any idea what movie I'm referring to, because you probably have no idea. And if you haven't seen it, and I'm not talking just to you, Jimmy, I'm talking to everybody. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. Honestly, shame on you. White Christmas, 1954, starring the great Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Vera Ellen, and Rosemary Clooney.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, what the hell are you doing with yourself?
I mean,
that is an instant classic.
Again, it's one of those where, honestly, of an older generation, they would probably put that as one of the top 2 on their list. There is no question. I think with younger people, they wouldn't watch that. They probably wouldn't find what's great about it. But it's just a wonderful Christmas movie. It has so many great songs in it. It's just a phenomenal movie from start to finish. You have great, actors, legendary actors, Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye doing it. Now, this wasn't the only Christmas movie that Bing Crosby was in, but I will guarantee you that it is the most well-known one, without a doubt, that he has ever been in. And it was just a tremendous one. And it brought you back to a simpler time. And it brought you back to a time when people really looked at Christmas and really was able to take it, fully. And that, especially nowadays with technology being so advanced and people wanting the latest gadgets and gizmos and things like that, I think sometimes we really miss out on what Christmas really should be all about. And watching a movie like that, or Charlie Brown Christmas, I think really gives people an opportunity to really, love, Christmas, and really understand that it's all about, being together and giving to one another and just being kind. We go through so much throughout the year. It's just great that we have Christmas at the end of the year where we can really kind of reflect on everything and say, you know what? It's time to, do some changes. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to be more kind. I got to be more giving. And like Christmas, what is more special about it than anything else is the music. The music is from a different time. It's from a time that people would say, is that really music? It is. It really is. It's incredible. The lyrics in it, the dancing, the everything that they do is just phenomenal. The scenes are done so well. It's great. And I would highly recommend it if you haven't seen it, because trust me, you will not be disappointed from start to finish. You'll love every single second of it.
100%. I mean, look, I didn't listen too much to Bing Crosby because obviously he doesn't resonate with me as much as, obviously my grandparents and stuff. But that one movie definitely has given me a lot more appreciation for what he's done. It is an absolute classic. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. You're not going to be disappointed. It's another one of those movies that just resonates with you. It stays with you forever.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no question about it. So that is number 2 on my list. So now we'll go to my 3 honorable mentions. And here's the thing. You guys might be surprised as to why I chose this and chose that. But I think once you hear what I have at number 1, I think you'll see why they weren't in the top 5, but I put them in honorable mention. So I guess you could call this a top 8 if you want to, go that way. But my first honorable mention is A Christmas Carol. But it is not the one that most people think of. It is not. You got to go back to 1962. Mr. Magoo's A Christmas Carol, the cartoon starring Abe Levito, and it has Jim Backus, Maury Armstead, Jack Cassidy. And the reason why it's great is because let's face it, everybody knows A Christmas Carol. Everybody's heard of it, everybody's read it, everybody's seen it in one ways. They've made A Christmas Carol maybe 10, 15 different ways. They've done it with everybody, honestly. They've made so many of them. I mean, it's the most typical movie to make a version of for whatever you're doing. It's the most typical one. I was even in it. I was even in it when I was still in middle school. I was in it. So, it's that whole, typical thing. But the reason why I like Mr. Magoo's is because it was the first one I ever watched. It was the first one, and I loved it. And I'm not going to try to be critical, but I will say that I think some of the other ones, particularly the most recent one, which was like back in 2015 or 16,
I think you're right.
They kind of overdo it with how scary they really make this stuff. I mean, they really go over the top. And I know that there's a message there, and I know you're trying to follow the script, but, again, with it being movies and it being Hollywood, sometimes people like to go over the top. The one that they had with Jim Carrey, I thought was completely messed up. I thought that it was unnecessarily, scary. I know a lot of little kids that got freaked out watching it. It's like, you're not sending them a good message, and you're not having them understand the message if you're doing it that way. But I think if you watch Mr. Magoo's, I think it's a really good one. I think it's great because everybody loves cartoons. And I think having that cartoon feeling just allows people to focus in on it more and understand it. And I just thought it was great. And what's really cool about it is that if you watch it, it starts with the lead actor, I believe it's Jim Backus, who plays, Mr. Scrooge, who's the voice of it. He starts as like, he's his own he's an actor that's, coming from, his apartment building, going down to the theater and getting ready to perform. And then it's like you're sitting in the theater watching him on stage perform A Christmas Carol. It's not like it just starts with the movie. It starts with him traveling to the movie theater and, getting ready and having all the opening credits come up. And then it's like you're one of those cartoon people sitting there watching him perform on stage like you're actually there. And that's
Right.
what makes it even cooler. So that is one of my honorable mentions to Mr. Magoo's A Christmas Carol, 1962. Now, let me give you a classic one. Jimmy, you know this one very well. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, 1964.
Yes.
Starring the likes of Burl Ives, Larry D. Mann, Billy Richards, Paul Soles, directed by Maury Laws and Larry Romer. And look, everybody knows Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They know the songs. They make different renditions of it. But this one, with it being the stop motion one with the figures, is the one that everybody really knows. It's a tremendous one. It's great for kids. It's just great in general. And I really love just how well that they do the creation of it. And I think that's really what I love more than anything else.
Yeah, stop motion. Stop motion is always fascinated me. You look at the other stop motion ones that Rankin Bass has done. Rudolph, like you mentioned, Year Without a Santa Claus.
Yeah.
What's another one? What's the one with
Didn't he do Peter Cottontail for like Easter?
I think they did. I'd have to go back and find that out. But my point being, all the Rankin Bass stop motion specials really have astounded me. I've always been fascinated by how they did it, how long it must take to put together. But I digress there. It probably took them an eternity to get that done. But you know what? It was definitely worth it because it looks fantastic. It still holds up to this day.
Yeah.
I'm an absolute sucker for it. I just am, man.
Yeah, and it probably took more than a year to do, but they were able to do it, and I think that's the important thing, and that's what makes it tremendous. And I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. So that's my second honorable mention. The other one is another classic. Everybody knows it. I like the originals. I'm an originalist. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 1967.
The original, okay.
Boris Karloff, June Foray, Thurl Ravenscroft, Eugene Pontinet, directed by Chuck Jones and Ben Washam. Look, there are other How the Grinch Stole Christmas ones that they've made. I think they've made like 3 or 4 since 1967, but nothing can compare to the original one. When you first see it, you first watch it, you first learn about it, and it's great. It's great. And Boris Karloff has this tremendous voice. He does a great job of presenting it. I love it. And again, it being the original one, it has a special place in my heart because, again, when you and I were kids, Jimmy, we didn't have a lot of these other ones that we've seen over the last 10, 11 years.
Right.
We only knew the ones from the 60s that they made, the original ones. That's all the ones we knew. So that, to me, is why it's so special. It's a great movie, and everybody knows the original song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Everybody knows that.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things. Because it's been so popular and it's so well renowned that people can just remember those songs. If you can remember the songs from it, you knew it was a good movie, regardless of whether it's Christmas or not.
100%. That's an instant classic. The original definitely has a special place in my heart too. I remember always listening to the song in the car with my family almost every single year. So the song definitely resonates with a lot of people. I'll say that.
Absolutely. So those are my 3 honorable mentions. So I'll quickly go through, what I've had already, and then we'll do number 1. So again, number 5 is Home Alone, 1990. Number 4 is Frosty the Snowman, 1969. Number 3 is A Charlie Brown Christmas, 1965. White Christmas is number 2, 1954. And my honorable mentions are Mr. Magoo's A Christmas Carol, 1962. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, 1964, and like we just said, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 1967. Jimmy, when you're done drinking your water there, my friend, can I get a loud drum roll, please? Number 1, A Christmas Story, 1983. 3.
Why did I have a feeling you were going to go there?
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
all right.
Anybody who knows me knows that that is number 1 on my list all the time, starring the likes of Peter Billingsley, Darren McGavin, Melinda Dillon, Ian Petrella, directed by the well-known Bob Clark. Folks, here's the thing about A Christmas Story. This is a Christmas. This whole movie is what most people lived. Like, this is like how their Christmas went, is how a lot of people lived their Christmas in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s. That's just how it, like that, all those things you saw, while they do seem crazy, it's not that crazy when you talk to people of an older generation. They will tell you, yeah, we did stuff like that. Yeah, that seems about right. And like, that's the thing. It's so relatable. It's not one of these magical ones. It's one of those you could just relate with and be like, yeah, that makes sense. And the classic, you'll shoot your eye out and,
Yes.
Daddy's going to kill Ralphie and the Bumpus's dogs. And,
I triple dog dare you.
The triple dog dare you. Scud Farkas being still public enemy number 1, even to this day. It's just a great movie. It really is. And it's just one that gets you really at the holidays. Again, it's another tradition in my household. Christmas Day, we watch that about 15 times, however long. When ABC used to do 25 Days of Christmas, they used to play that on repeat.
Oh, my
the whole
gosh.
day. So you can watch it like 100 times and still love it. And, the best part about it is going to a Chinese restaurant to get a duck to celebrate Christmas. And the cook's singing is hysterical. Everything about it is just great. It's such a great movie. It's so relatable to people because so many people of an older generation had Christmases very similar to that. And that is why I have it at number 1 on my list. So that is my top 5 list of the best Christmas movies of all time.
Well done. And that's a tremendous number 1. I got to give you mad props for that because that is another absolute classic. All right. So it is now my time to shine. Here is my list of the top 5 Christmas movies of all time, according to yours truly. Now, keep in mind, again, this is my list. These are my favorites. Neil gave his favorites. These are mine. Again, if you agree or disagree, that's more than fine. You can give your own list. And again, Die Hard is not on my list. So please do not come to us with this. We're not here for it. But anyway.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I digress. So let's get started with my list. Top 5 favorite Christmas movies of all time, according
number 5.
to me. What's that?
I was going to do like they do top 5 lists. They go like, number 5, number 5. I was going to do that every time.
I like that, man. So my number 5 is the same. It's the same as yours. It's Home Alone. I mean, what more can I add? What more can I say? Home Alone is an absolute classic. I don't think I need to add anything more than what Neil said. Home Alone is number 5 on my list. Number 4, I'm surprised at you, Neil, because I'm surprised you didn't have this one on your list.
Go ahead.
It resonates around my house all the time. I quote it all the time with a few of my friends, and that would happen to be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I am very surprised that you did not have this.
That is such an overrated movie, in my opinion.
Oh my God!
An overrated movie.
Oh my! All right, we'll have a discussion off the air.
I get it. No. Here's the thing. Everybody has different traditions and different movies that they watch. So again, some of the movie we may not say some of the movies that a lot of other people will say, our listeners. Right. But again, the reason I didn't have it is because I never, again, it's very resonant like A Christmas Story. It really is.
Right.
But I think it's a little bit over the top. That's my opinion. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
No. I mean, listen, you got your own opinion. I got mine.
Funny as hell, I'll tell you that.
What's that?
It's funny as hell, I'll tell you that.
Oh, no, it is.
Well.
The fact that Clark Griswold is doing everything that he can to try and have a good Christmas with his family and keeps failing and failing and failing and failing constantly. You can't help but feel bad for the guy, but you can't help but laugh at it too because it's just so funny. Because how often do you see the stuff that he's doing? How often do you see that actually happen?
Right.
Not that often. The fact that you don't have your tools to cut down a Christmas tree and you're forced to uproot it instead, you don't see that.
Right.
You don't see that often. So, look, this movie is absolutely hilarious. It's a tradition around my house. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is number 4 on my list. Number 3. I also have The Grinch, but 2000. And here, listen,
you went with the Jim Carrey one, didn't you?
Hear me out. Hear me out.
All right.
Listen, I get it. A few people don't like this version. I get why. But Jim Carrey, I mean, listen, you can't deny his performance in that movie. It is absolutely unbelievable. He clearly had a character to work with. Is it the greatest Christmas special ever? No, but to me, it's the best one. It's the best version to me just because of Jim Carrey's performance alone. The visuals could be worked a little bit better, but it still holds the same message that the original one does. The Grinch 2000 version is number 3 on my list. What can I say? I'm a sucker for that version. Plus, yeah. I love Jim Carrey, so anything Jim Carrey is in, I'm all in.
There's nothing wrong with it, There's nothing wrong. Like, it's not like I didn't like it. I mean, I did. Like I said before, I'm a sucker for originals. I'm an originalist, so I like the original one because, again, you can't top the original. You just can't. So
I'm not saying it's better than the original.
Jim Carrey is phenomenal in anything that he does. It doesn't matter. Ace Ventura, anything like that, it doesn't matter. He's done a phenomenal job, and that was a good one because, again, it was like a real life one. You could do a lot more, in my opinion, when you use like real people and not a cartoon. I mean, I feel like you could do a lot more and be a little bit more creative at times, and so I think that's what made it great.
By the way, have you seen Jim Carrey in the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
No, because I'm not a Sonic person.
Oh my god! No, I mean this with all seriousness. He's tremendous in that. If you haven't seen Sonic the Hedgehog, go see it. Jim Carrey is great as Dr. Robotnik. Yes, he plays Dr. Robotnik, but he's absolutely tremendous.
Of all the things for him to play, Dr. Robotnik. I mean, it's not like he's like a skinny version of Dr. Robotnik too. I think.
Yeah, right? Pretty much. But
it's like kind of stupid in a way because it's like, well, I mean,
I digress there, but Jim Carrey and The Grinch is number 3 on my list. Quick recap here. Number 5, Home Alone. Number 4, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Number 3, The Grinch 2000. Number 2, again, also very shocked that you do not have this on your list. That would be Elf. Another tradition around my house. One of the best and one of the funniest and one of the most heartfelt Christmas movies I've ever seen. Everybody knows Buddy the Elf.
Oh yeah.
Will Ferrell carries that movie. If he was not in it, the film would be a flop. But the fact that Will Ferrell, as funny as he is, and I love Will Ferrell, the fact that he carries that entire movie says a lot. The fact that he's out there trying to find his biological parents, and everybody knows the classic lines like "You sit on the throne of lies," "I know him." Like I can go on and on and on. It's an instant classic. It resonates with everybody, and plus, it's still really funny to see him being the biggest elf with a bunch of little elves in a classroom.
Oh,
that always gets a kick out of me. So Elf is number 2 on my list. So quick recap here. Number 5, Home Alone. Number 4, Christmas Vacation. Number 3, The Grinch. Number 2 is Elf. And I have 4 honorable mentions before we get to number 1. First honorable mention is what you had as number 1, and that would be A Christmas Story. I have nothing. I have nothing else to add. It's an instant classic. I always watch it. The soap in the mouth, the pink bunny suit. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. I mean, I've got nothing more to add. A Christmas Story is an absolute classic. The next one, Miracle on 34th Street.
Ooh.
The original one.
Right.
Not the crappy-ass remake.
Right. I was hoping you went with the original one because the other one sucked eggs.
Thank you. It did. Everybody knows the original one. Santa
Yeah.
gets arrested. It goes to trial. I don't have anything more to add. If you haven't seen it, shame on you.
Santa
Please
gets
go
arrested.
watch
Think
it.
about that. Think about it. Santa gets arrested. It goes to jail. How?
How does that work? Nobody knows. But seriously, if you haven't seen the original Miracle on 34th Street, please go watch it. It is an instant
Guys,
classic.
listen. I understand that people love it when they make sequels, and look, sometimes it works out. I mean, the Harry Potter, series. Hey, good on them. Honestly,
True.
like, here's the thing: 99.9% of the time, the sequels suck. When they try to redo something that was already a masterpiece, you can't do
It
better
doesn't
than a
work.
masterpiece. You can't. So again, just stop. I know you're trying to make money, but just stop.
Yeah, thank
Hurt
you.
yourself.
Thank you. So
And
the
I'm talking
original,
to Disney. I'm talking to Disney in particular here. Stop making everything again. We already saw Mulan. We know what happens. You making a live action version of it is not going to make it any better, especially when you don't have the dragon in it in the first place. So you just ruined it.
thank you. But
You know,
anyway,
Lion King, Jesus Christ, was that violent? I mean, you like, I went there and there were so many kids there freaking out because it was like the most violent thing, and I'm like, this is why they should have just stuck with the cartoon. It stopped right there.
exactly. But Miracle on 34th Street, the original, is another honorable mention. Here's another one. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I'm pretty sure everybody can resonate with this one. And
The original
no, I
one, right?
am not talking about the other ones that were
Thank
after
you,
this.
God.
The original, the Santa Claus.
It's so
Don't bother
bad.
with the sequels because they're terrible.
It's
2 is okay.
trash.
Other ones are trash. The
It's
original
so
one
bad.
is where it's at. The Santa Claus is another honorable mention. And this last one, I had to, because I'm a sucker for this. I love Disney, and I love me some good old-fashioned Mickey Mouse. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas
Oh, God.
is another honorable mention. I'm
lame.
sorry, Neil. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm
sorry.
an absolute sucker for this. I'm sorry, but I watched this all the freaking time when I was little. It is absolutely tremendous.
Though.
It's one of my favorites. It combines 3 different stories: Donald Duck Stuck on Christmas, A Very Goofy Christmas, and Mickey and Minnie's Gift of the Magi. It is an absolutely it's an absolute nostalgic trip. Please, I actually plan on revisiting it now that I mentioned it. So that is my other
corny.
honorable mention.
It's so
Neil,
corny.
you wanted to say something?
It's so corny.
Oh, come on.
Come on,
Really?
you don't cringe. Jimmy, you don't cringe a little bit? Like,
No, not in the
wow.
slightest.
All right.
Not in the slightest.
Okay.
What?
I swear to God, like, here's, if you want to go down that road, every single SpongeBob Christmas movie that has been ever made is awesome.
Yes.
Go down that road, we going down.
All right, fine. We agree there.
Even the clay animation one that they made like 2 years ago was pretty solid.
Yeah, I will admit that one was pretty cool. Not my favorite, but it was
I'll
still
go
cool.
I'll go to like little kid stuff. I'll go to like, Thomas and the Christmas Tree. That was freaking amazing.
Oh my
You don't even you can't even.
You're gonna go down that road now, okay?
If you go with Mickey Mouse.
Come on.
I thought you were gonna make. When you said Mickey Mouse, I actually thought you were gonna go with what was it, like Scrooge McDuck? I think that was like the Christmas Carol.
I was considering that because that's another
Again,
one of my favorites, but it was so tough to
lame.
leave out.
No, but that one is lame as hell.
Oh, come
Because
on.
you've seen a Christmas Story. You know the damn story. They just make it worse. Disney makes things. Here's the thing about Disney. A lot of the time, they're not original anymore. They just make the same damn stuff. And they don't make it better.
You're right. You're right about that. You're right about that. But
I know I am.
where's your Christmas spirit, though, man? But anyway,
I have Christmas spirit. That's why I'm crapping on it. All right.
Anyway, though, that's another
Number
honorable
one.
mention. So again, before we get to number 1, quick recap here: top 5 favorite Christmas movies of all time, according to yours truly. Number 5, Home Alone. Number 4, Christmas Vacation. Number 3, The Grinch 2000 version with Jim Carrey. Number 2, Elf. Honorable mentions: A Christmas Story, Miracle on 34th Street, the original version, the original Santa Claus and Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. And number one, again, very, very surprised you left this off, because this, without a doubt to me, my grandparents introduced me to this movie. It is without a doubt the greatest Christmas movie that I have ever seen, and that would happen to be It's a Wonderful Life. How can anybody not think of Christmas and not think about this movie? Go back to 1946, starring the great James Stewart as George Bailey, a man who has given up his dream to help others, almost commits suicide, and then his guardian angel comes, played by Henry Travers, and the guardian angel basically shows him how he has touched the lives of many different people around him and how different his life would be for his wife, Mary, and his community of Bedford Falls if he had not been born. It really, really is one of the most touching Christmas movies I've ever seen. And everybody knows the famous "Angel Gets Its Wings" line towards the end of that movie. It makes you cry at the end. That's how memorable it is. But It's a Wonderful Life, to me, is the number one greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Yeah, no, I think that's a solid pick. Again, Christmas Story, really thought that was going to be somewhere on your list, but no, it's fine.
It's an honorable mention, so at least it's there somewhere.
Yeah. No, again, it's not a big deal. Again, that's a great one. It really is. I think a lot of people's lists, I think IMDb actually put it at number one. So again, that just shows you how great it actually is and how much it touches so many people. So that's a really good pick nonetheless.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So that wraps up our lists, and that'll wrap it up for this special Christmas-themed episode of the Bottom Line Podcast. If you agree or disagree with any of our lists, or if you want to add your own, and if you add Die Hard, we will murder you. I'm kidding.
No, you're just getting blocked.
That's a little dark, but you get what I mean.
You're just getting blocked. If you mention Die Hard, you're getting blocked.
Thank you, Neil. That's what I meant to say.
But Die Hard, you're getting blocked. That's just...
sorry for the dark humor. I just get sick and tired of that debate. But look, regardless of where you stand on that debate, we can all agree that it's the greatest action movie to ever exist. That much we can agree on. But Christmas movie, hell no. Sorry, bottom line, period, end of sentence. No. Don't come at us. Anyway, if you agree or disagree with any of our lists, or if you want to add your own, please do so on Twitter and Instagram at BottomLineWMCX, and on Twitter at the NVP Show, #BottomLine. Leave a voice message on the Anchor app or at Anchor.fm. And if you like what you see on YouTube, leave a like and a comment down below. It helps out tremendously. And please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss a single episode. And please subscribe on all audio listening platforms. Just include Jimmy when searching for this podcast. Neil, we've got a couple of more top fives to work on before the end of the year, and we still got to do our worst and best lists, and that's also not going to be easy. I know we did them last year. It was not easy, and this one, these ones might need some work, so
yeah.
Stay tuned for updates on that on Twitter and Instagram. We will have our top 5 worst and best list updates for you, but we hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful rest of your holiday season. We are extremely thankful for all the love and support that you have given us. We really are blessed to be doing this, and we're happy that we were still able to do this in a year that has been filled with much turmoil. And we're glad that you took time out of your day to stick with us. It really does mean the world. So we thank you very much. Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday season. And again, to those who celebrate Kwanzaa right after Christmas, a very joyous Kwanzaa. And we hope your Hanukkah was awesome if you celebrate that as well. But bottom line, have a wonderful rest of your holiday season, and we'll see you all next week. For Neil Villapiano, I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is the Bottom Line Podcast. See you in the next episode. Peace out.